And that is it. The full-time whistle goes. Manchester City 2, Liverpool 2. Wow, what a game of football. We've all aged tremendously over the course of the last 94 minutes. Jesus Christ. I don't really know where to start with that. Get your thoughts, feelings, comments in. We're going to be doing loads of post-match shows. We're going to carry on chatting in a second, of course, but if you've got more analysis for this, your reactions, fan reactions is coming after this show. Chris will be doing player ratings, and then we'll be back doing instant match reaction where we've had a little bit of time to cool off, listen to the post-match stuff, 25 minutes over on Redmen Plus. Head to redmenplus.com and sign up for that one in video and in podcast form as well. Chris, and ultimately, given what we've just seen there, there's nothing between these two teams. And on the balance of it, I'm glad, if it was a draw, I'm glad we scored the last goal in the draw, because at least I feel like it feels better for that, rather than, we didn't feel like we lost anything there. It felt like we won the point rather than lost. Yeah,
ultimately it doesn't matter, but you're absolutely right. I mean, at half time, your head in hands wondering how Liverpool are going to get back into this, because the back end of the first half, Liverpool didn't have a kick. Liverpool didn't really have a chance apart from the Jota one where he could have played in Salah, but we come out second half and instantly get that goal, and that's what we needed big time. After that, we had a good 10-minute spell where we looked like we were the dominating side, looked like we were going to carry on and go and get the victory. City then bludgeoned their way back into it, and it's just two great sides going head to head for a league title and more. You know, if we're going to see them in probably all the competitions that we're still in, I'd imagine. And this is the problem, is that they're really good and we're really good at the footy, and there's nothing to separate the two sides. You know, is a point right now in the league. I feel, and you've been pushing this point all week long, that is 2 points lost for Manchester City, and I feel like it's a point gain for Liverpool. Yeah. And when it comes down to it, I think from where we were, that's a better point for us than them. Yeah. They could have put the nail in the coffin today, and they weren't able to do it.
There's a momentum. You're right. Like, if Liverpool manage to turn that around and get the win, then you're coming up the tracks, and great. And Liverpool get to carry this steamroller thing on. If Man City lose it, then this by the same thing. It's exactly the same point. Is that they feel like they've been hunted down and killed, and do they pick themselves back up again? Of course, but you're right to that point of, it's not the decisive thing one way or the other. It's a better point for Man City in so much as they're still top of the league and there's one less game of football to play. But in terms of what Liverpool are doing and Liverpool are trying to do, and you're right, in terms of how 2022 has gone for us so far, we were dead and buried. We were dead and buried in this league title race, and we remain here toe-to-toe with them. I wouldn't be shocked if they were to drop more points between now and the end of the season. I can't see a world where this game doesn't go down to this league title doesn't go down to the final game of the season, regardless. So it'll be what it'll be.
Look, Man City are in the driving seat. They are. They've got the extra points. They haven't lost to us either. I think that's important to state. They will be much happier, I think, as a squad, that they're still a point ahead, because they'll believe in themselves that they can go on and win every game. And I wouldn't be surprised if Man City went on and won every game, Paul. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if they drew a game or lost the game. Yep. That's just how good they are, you know. But we know that they've had those results. And yes, they can play against us and they can draw against us, but you had 14 points on us, lads. You've got one. Yeah. And it wasn't against us that you lost the points, lads. It was against the other teams in the league. And you've got to play them between now and the end of the season. That's what's going through their minds right now. They'll be pleased, don't get me wrong, but Liverpool will be more pleased, I think, right now, because we could have been out the title race today and we're not.
My worry, and this is a great narrative to spin now that we're not on top of the league, of course, I recognise this, but there's a point there at which, if we go top here today, I think you've still got to win every game.
Yeah, you do.
But if you then stumble at any point, I think Liverpool collapse. If to come that far from behind, I think we've got to. It keeps the pressure off us weirdly, because and it keeps the pressure slightly more on Man City because it's still theirs to lose. I think we'd all rather be in a position where Liverpool were 2 points clear at the top of the league. Let's not That's not sugarcoated any. But I don't see this as being anything too catastrophic for Liverpool and their hopes for the rest of the season. Scott Hawks has sent a $60
Fucking hell, Scott.
Scott, my
win.
I swallowed a lump of coal at half-time and now I'm off to shatter Diamond. The season goes on. Fab nodded as most composed today, but saw the two best teams in the last 30 years. Come on, you Reds. Exactly that. And look, you can see it. I said this before. I've been looking for something to tell me that Liverpool are better than Man City and better than Chelsea. And the point is, the season will judge that, because in one-on-one games, they're three teams that are right on each other's sort of level. On one-off games of football, the season will determine what happens now. It's how do you go up against everyone else that you've got to play. These games used to decide the title, and they still would, but they don't anymore. Because they cancel each other out. And that was the big thing for there. We didn't beat them at Anfield. You can't lose at the Etihad, because you're handing them an advantage. That's how close these title races have been over recent years. So in that regard, again, it's as good a point as their point was at Anfield. It's a good point, but both Liverpool should be happy because they've gone to the Etihad and taken a point the same way City were made up to get a point at Anfield. So yeah, I think that's decent. Yasser Al Atay says we used to give them more of a go when we were shitter. Yeah, but also Man City. I don't know.
No, can I answer it then?
Yeah,
I kind of agree in some ways. In that,
less to lose.
No. The way to play Manchester City is to sit back and hope they don't wallop you.
Yeah.
Liverpool are too good to do that. Yeah. We're not going to sit back and hope they don't wallop us.
Yeah.
And look, and when they lose, it's, I don't know, pick a fucking team that they've lost to, Norwich last year or whatever it was. Mm-hmm. It's that 1-0 thing, isn't it? Liverpool aren't in it for that. Liverpool aren't in to win one game out of 10, like Norwich are against Manchester City. Liverpool are in to try and win all 10 of the games. Yeah. And to win all 10 of the games, you've got to be the dominant side. We weren't the dominant side today. We were ran ragged for a large part of that football match, but they couldn't put us to bed. And we played in the way that City, like any side that comes up against Liverpool, if you come out and go at Manchester City, they believe they're going to beat you 10 times out of 10. Liverpool can go toe-to-toe with Manchester City, not sit back and still not get beat. And that's why. It's that willingness to go and try and win every game, that relentlessness that makes us great. You can't change it for that one game a year or 2 games a year against Manchester City, because what you're saying is everything I've preached to you for the last 36 games doesn't fucking matter. Yeah. You're not as good as them. Yeah. No, we are. You've got to go out there and try and prove it. It's two fellas fucking having an arm wrestle that's going back and forth. You can't give in. Yeah. You've just got to keep fighting for as long as you possibly can. And Liverpool are in the fight.
Yeah, exactly. And we said this before, again, you can throw it all in and try and credit one quickly, but once you've not won it quickly, you leave yourself open to to be encountered and defeated. And to the point as well, look, it's a credit to Liverpool, because Liverpool had so much freedom to manoeuvre in those earlier games against Man City, because Man City were expected. Man City had the better squad. They had a squad full of proven Premier League winners who've been there and done it. And this is when, of course, they still had David Silva and Vincent Kompany and a young Fernandinho and Sergio Aguero still in his pomp and all that kind of stuff. And Liverpool now, the rivalry's so big that Man City make concessions for how Liverpool play. Man City's tactics they do things to unsettle Liverpool, and we do things to unsettle them, because that's the level we're at, and that's why it's borne out with a 2-2 draw ultimately, because neither side could properly do what they do. City should have been able to walk away with that, because they've done it to plenty of teams in the past, but they couldn't. And Liverpool should have been able to get a little bit more. But again, City, they got in, but they've got really good defend. They've got good centre halves now. So when you get into promising positions, and they've got Laporte and Stone, they've turned a corner on Stones, so they defend well. Whereas in the past, it was Otamendi and he was shite. Or it would have been Mangala years before that, or whatever, like all the other dross that they've had over the years. So yeah, I get the point. But ultimately, Liverpool went and gave a good old account of themselves there, I thought. Josh Hunter with a 179 says, so happy we get to do this all again in a week.
Oh God.
Yep, can't wait for that. Cannot wait for that. And that's the thing about it, is it doesn't give you any greater indication how that game's going to go, and how, it doesn't offer any there's now an added impetus because you're out the title race, so you've got to go more for it. I just think that's going to be another game exactly like this, but on a bigger pitch, and with more Liverpool fans in the ground, which is definitely a good thing. Daniel McMurray, grand finale all set. Over to you, Stevie G. When WA, well, we've still got to win 7 more games before we get to that. But I said this all along again. If you want Steven Gerrard to be able to hand Liverpool a title, then we can't be comfortably won by the last game of the season. There needs to be a twist, and I'm sure there's going to be. If Liverpool win the title this season, it's going to be in the most dramatic, ridiculous fashion you've ever seen in your life. I'm all here for that because I've got no choice. Right, so we've got a bunch of super chats. I just need to let the internet catch up with them. Ankit, right?
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm just wondering what's going on.
Oh,
let's do it.
Ankit says, we got a point and we weren't at our best. Come on. Yeah, Josh Hunter says again, echoing the point I made earlier, I'm happy we get to do it all again in a week. Just what I needed. Don't know if there's a hint of sarcasm in there.
Yeah, Alex Maltese Falcon, you'll never walk alone. Happy with the point away. Bring on midweek and FA Cup next week. Come on, you Redmen. Thank you. Alex is a member.
Thank you so much, mate. Have you done the stats?
No, we haven't actually, mate. Should we do a little few of them then? So Manchester City, 55% possession in total, 11 shots to 6, only 5 on target. Of those 11, Liverpool had 4 shots on target. They had 4 corners, we had 1. We should have had 2. We had 3 big chances, missed 1 of them. They had 2 big chances and missed 1 of them. They hit the woodwork twice. We didn't hit the woodwork. We had 1 counter-attack. They had 1 counter-attack. Both of those ended with shots. Liverpool and Manchester City, man, this is what the league's about now. These are the teams. These are the times as well, though. This is what we want, isn't it? You know, it's horrible and it's stressful, and it's more stressful not being there and watching it on the TV. But fucking hell, man, that was a game of football and a half. That's so good to watch.
Yeah, the fine margins of play. I mean, again, look at the offside calls. You know, Gabriel Jesus, great innovation to break us down for that goal. Great run to get him behind. It's a great, it clips the underside of the bar. It's the only way you're beating Alisson. You know, they have another one. Sterling goes through, but he goes through and he's offside and it gets chalked off. Diaz has a chance when he gets through. Salah has one that gets deflected past the post. Yeah. Good old. I mean, look at the Sky have got the XG as 1.2 to Man City to 1.22 to Liverpool, which is again another indicator of you can have shots and you can have possession, but it's where are you taking your shots from and how are you
doing with them? Like, exactly. Let's have a little look at that actually, because Info Goal, they use different. Sky, I think, use Opta still. I'm assuming we maybe use Y Scout on Info Goal, but I'm not 100% sure. They've got it as 1.32 to 1.07. I can't quite get the maps up for some reason. Stats, there we go. Maps, there we go. Let's have a little look at that. Yep, you're not working, are you?
Brilliant. Anyway, we'll wrap that up and we'll do that on Instamatch.
Oh, here we go.
Get them working.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah, cool. Right, that is the final whistle. Man City 2, Liverpool 2. Plenty more to come from us. If you need more video and podcast coverage of the mighty Reds, the best time ever to be a Liverpool fan and the best time ever to check out Redmen Plus, our subscription Liverpool streaming service. Not only is it like our Patreon, so if you want to support what we do, then that's cool, but we also give you tons of content, not just Redmen Studio shows, where we've got build-up and reaction to all of the remaining games of the season, but we've also got documentaries, features, interviews, and a hell of a lot more. We've got the Redmen Sessions coming up. We saw a little advert for that earlier on in the stream. The Ragamuffins running through their Liverpool set with their new album available now on all great streaming music platforms. We've also got the German Scousers coming up in a couple of weeks. We chatted to John Acterberg, the Liverpool goalkeeper coach, about the goalkeeper war mural at the AXA, and look, just an amazing array of Liverpool cultural features, interviews. Get closer to the mighty Reds as we head towards one of the most incredible finishes to the season that has ever been in the history of
I just
football.
want to do a quick shout out before you wrap it up for Dean Tago's daughter Ava. Shout out to Ava, thank you so much for watching today with us.
Yeah, well done everyone who's managed to stay alive throughout that. Plenty more from us. I'll be doing your reactions if you're a YouTube member. Use the live chat if you want to tweet us. You can do. Ross has put a tweet out there asking for your match reactions. I'll read through some of them. Then Chris is doing player ratings, and then the big one, we return together over on Redmen Plus for the instant match reaction show. We've had a little bit of a time, a little bit of a moment to soak things up. Head to redmenplus.com. The big yellow join today play button is on the right-hand side. You'll get that live in about an hour's time, or if you're listening after the fact, you can get it in podcast form in your native podcasting app as well, ahead of Monday morning's Final Word show, which is also on Redmen Plus. Right, thank you so much. Up the mighty, title challenging, still in it. Still in with a fight, still nipping, gnawing, scratching and biting at Man City's heels. And yeah, we'll see you all on those other shows in a minute. Ta-ra.
Hey guys, thanks for watching the show. Hope you enjoyed it. If you want even more Redmen TV goodness in your lives, head on over to redmenplus.com right away. You'll get more in-depth analysis, more features, more documentaries, more interviews, basically more Liverpool goodness. It's like Netflix for Reds. You will love it. We love it. Head on over to redmenplus.com and sign up for Redmen Plus.